Thank you, Chairman. I will take this opportunity to put up what I consider to be a red flag of a MAGA takeover of the Department of Justice. What we regularly see is extremely good bromides until we hit the area of Trump sensitivity, and I think we've seen it in this hearing too. And then it's like watching people fly into the Bermuda Triangle, and all the navs and comms get weird. And I think that's a very strong signal of what folks' intentions are as we go into this. Project 2025 author Russ Vought said that it was his purpose to impose trauma in the federal workforce. And I think we're seeing those efforts right now with respect to FBI agents who were assigned, for instance, to the January 6th cases. We see repeated signals that politics now matters. We saw Attorney General Bondi ask members of the Department of Justice to disavow their own political beliefs in favor of, and I'm quoting her here, the political views that prevailed in the election. I don't think we've ever heard an Attorney General say anything like that before. We see the DC U.S. Attorney in office, not formerly like you, Mr. Sauer, in office, describe himself now as Trump's lawyer out to protect his leadership, unquote, when challenged by the media. The department actually has some pretty noble traditions of standing against politics and for the law. Recent examples include when the department stood against the Bush administration's unlawful warrantless wiretapping scheme and threatened mass resignations if it wasn't corrected. And it was corrected. That was a good thing. The department itself rejected its own secret, shoddy Office of Legal Counsel opinions that had propped up the torture program. That was the department cleaning up its own mess, not just going along with the signal from the White House. Most recently, you saw the department stand against efforts to involve the Department of Justice in the Georgia election subversion scheme. To me, those were noble days for the department. I don't see any chance of that happening. What I see in front of me now is an Environment and Natural Resources Division that has already been decapitated. No coincidence that the biggest polluters are the biggest donors to Trump's campaign. I see the entire kleptocracy, anti-kleptocracy initiative of the Department of Justice eliminated, canceled, just as we watch a president cozy up to Vladimir Putin. Whatever Trump Russia was, it still is. And to take down the department's effort that goes after Russian oligarchs who prop up Putin sends a terrible and, to me, unjustifiable signal. We have seen a fake grand jury investigation mounted in order to create, or at least attempted to be mounted, in order to create a pretext to allow a fund that the president objects to but is way too late to veto to be seized and held back from the obligations on it that Congress has provided. And recently we saw a flagrant pretense that the withdrawal of the prosecution of New York's mayor was not part of an agreement, the Latin term for agreement being quid pro quo. And then you saw Tom Homans from the administration go right onto TV and say, yeah, this was an agreement, and if you don't honor it, I will be, and I won't use the phrase that he used because it's vulgar. I hope that in some way I can call to each of your sense of decency so that when the moment comes, which it will, when you're asked to choose between the public duties of the Department of Justice and the political imperatives of the Trump administration, you'll come down on the right side. I'm sad to say I don't see any indication of that right now.